Hello everyone, Christina Werner here. Welcome to another minimal supplies card video. You do not need very many supplies. In fact, I'm using Crayola paints. I've got a white gel pen, a black marker, and a pencil. I have a little bit of tape, but really I'm only going to use that to keep my card closed. And I've also got a cup of water for all my painting. I will be using that same little brush that comes in the Crayola set. And then I've got my watercolor card. This is a 4¼ by 5½ inch folded card made out of some Canson XL watercolor paper. You can create this card using regular cardstock or paper, but I really recommend using watercolor paper because you will have a much better result. In fact, there are a lot of places that sell watercolor paper, including many grocery stores, or specifically Walmart. So check around before you use regular cardstock. The first thing we're going to do is turn our card so the fold is at the top, and then we're going to sketch on 5 very basic oval shapes. These are going to be our balloons for the birthday card. So I first sketched the middle balloon, trying to get it kind of in the center, and then I sketched the balloons, 2 of them on each side of that center balloon. And I staggered them so that they had a little bit more of a random placement. After I have the balloon shapes, I did the little ends of the balloons, and then I'm going to work on my grading. So I'm going to have the balloons say happy, and below the balloons, it will have a long black box that says birthday. And I want to make sure I have that box sized correctly. So I've written birthday on a piece of scratch paper, and I've used the same pen that I plan to use on my box later. I trimmed it out with some scissors, and I'm just placing that onto my card just long enough to draw this box. This is going to give me a good idea of how large the box needs to be. So I'll remove that little piece of paper, and then I'm going to move on to all of the painting. Before I paint, I'm going to erase some of those pencil lines. I'm just trying to take a little bit of the pencil away so that it's not too obvious. Pencil can get trapped under watercolor, so you want to make sure you've erased enough so that you can still see it, but not so much that it goes away completely. So here I am using my Crayola watercolor paints. I'm starting out with red on this first balloon, and I'm only going to paint the top part of the balloon in the full strength color. Then going to swish my brush in my water, dab it off on a paper towel, and then kind of pull and drag that paint down to the bottom of the balloon. I'm planning to have this balloon have a second color on it, so I want to have the bottom of the balloon be fairly faint so that that color can go on top. Now, if you wanted to paint both colors at the same time, you absolutely can, but I decided to do this in layers so that it would be a little bit easier. So then I moved on to the orange balloon, and this one was really watery, if you can tell. So I'm going to dab off my paintbrush quite a bit and then just drag the color down. And I'm going to be doing the same thing I did with the red one, where I want less paint down at the bottom of the balloon. So I'm using just a clean brush with no paint on it just to pull that color down to that bottom edge. All right, so I'm starting with yellow this time, and I'm going to speed up the painting process, but I will show you all of the painting. So this yellow, I just pulled it down to the very bottom, and then I moved on to the green. Same thing that I did before, just a little bit of paint at the top, and then pulling the color to the bottom. And I finished off with this blue shade. So while this first layer of paint on the balloon dries, I'm going to work on my box that's down below. I'm using a black marker, and I'm first going to outline this black box. I'm going to outline it with kind of a thinner black marker and then fill in the entire box. So we're going to have a black box on the card and then write birthday in a white gel pen on top. I thought it'd be kind of fun to make this into a banner, so this is how you do that. I'm going to do 2 little lines on either side that are down from the top edge, and then 2 more that are a distance from the bottom of the black box. Then I did some V shapes, and then a vertical line drawing down. So there's the basic shape of our banner. Fill that in with more black, and we're going to let that sit until we're ready to draw on our letters. All right, so onto the second layer of paint. I'm now taking orange, and I'm going to pull that in from the bottom edge of the balloon using kind of the same technique that I did for the red. So I'm using the strongest color at the bottom of the balloon and then pulling it toward the top. It's upside down right now, so it's a little bit confusing. It looks like it's the top of the balloon right now, but when we turn it right side up, it will be the bottom. So I added that green to the yellow balloon, I've added blue to the green balloon, and then I'll add a little bit of purple to the blue balloon so that we have a full rainbow spectrum of color going across these balloons. And you don't want to forget to paint those little ends of the balloon as well. For areas that have a little too much paint on them, you can come back in with just a clean, wet brush and kind of pull that color away from the surface of the paper. Using my black marker, this marker has two tips on it. It has a bold tip and a more fine tip. I'm using the fine tip now. And I just drew 2 loops, the string across the balloon and then the string dangling down on each one of these balloons. And I did just little faint squiggles coming down for the strings. This gives it a really fun, whimsical effect. And I made sure that it went behind the banner as well. All right, so we're going to work on the letters now for the balloon. I started to draw in the word happy on the balloons, 1 letter per balloon, but this balloon right in the center with the yellow and green, it wasn't dark enough to really show the letters, so I'll come back to that in a minute. To finish off the banner, we're going to draw 3 white lines on each side. You have the line on the outside of the rectangle, and then the one that connects down to the corner of the folded area of the ribbon. So 1 line, 2 lines, and then 3 lines. And that gives this the 3D effect of a ribbon banner. So now I'm writing birthday going all the way across my banner or my black box. And I'm going to show you this in real time. Notice how slow I'm writing with my gel pen. I'm taking my time, I'm spreading those letters out. And it's spaced perfectly because I took the time to prep that area before and get the sizing just right. I then took my black marker and I went over those letters. I think it just reads a whole lot better having the letters in black. So you could stop here and your card could be done, but I decided to add some dots, almost like confetti or a hint of a sparkle around the balloons. So I mostly drew these. I'll do like a little small cluster and then a few individual ones, just trying to get them spread out really randomly. And that is the card for today. Super easy and simple, minimal supplies, a little bit of watercoloring and some black marker and a white gel pen. You could definitely make a bunch of these birthday cards or even change them up, maybe do more balloons so it says congrats and then like we love you in the banner or something like that. You could really change it up. So thanks so much for watching today. I've got 3 more minimal supply cards for you to check out. If you want to just break out your watercolors and make some fun cards, you can check out those 3 videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video very soon.